currently now is going on Arbiter. Billy is going on Arbiter and notifying everybody if that's what we're going to do. We apologize a little bit about the technical difficulties with it. We've had that today, but for now, we want to make sure we start the meeting, and then everyone will get a copy of what takes place tonight. Again, I appreciate everyone getting on that can get on. And then we're going to go over a few things here. Everyone see a PowerPoint?
Yep.
Okay. Again, welcome to the 2024 WPIAL in Pittsburgh Public Schools football officials meeting. My name is Mike Burrell. I have the pleasure and honor of being named the Big 56 Football Officials Commissioner, in addition to working with Bill Schottenheimer and being commissioners at other levels from 4A down to 1A. Bill Schottenheimer was the other gentleman that you heard earlier on this presentation. Also, Lenny Leeper, who is the commissioner of the MAC conference, which is up north, up in Beaver County. He's on today also. He'll be involved along with Mike Jarasinski, who is unable due to a family emergency. He's also a commissioner of another conference. All of our contact information here is listed. This, in addition to this presentation being sent out, we are also going to send out the PowerPoint presentation as well, so you have our contact information also. To be respectful of everybody's time, if you have any questions during this meeting, which I'm sure you will, instead of having a question and answer session and muddying the waters a little bit and lasting 2 hours, 3 hours for this meeting, we're going to take questions via email and to contact your conference supervisor for the questions that you have. Again, we want to respect everybody's time, and we feel this is the best way to do that. So if you have questions, again, at the end, just go ahead and email your conference commissioner with those questions that you might have. Expectations. We only have 10 weeks of our regular season. For us to be successful, commitment is key. We understand it is a lot of sacrifice. We appreciate all that you guys do as officials. Again, we know it's hours away from your family, meetings, to and from games afterwards, the training that you do, and it is greatly appreciated. We know it's only 10 weeks also. Again, so the important thing for us is commitment that we have for those 10 weeks. Referees, if you haven't done so already, please complete or update your crew list. Again, that was sent out prior to all the secretaries and all the presidents of chapters. We appreciate them communicating out to all of you. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you complete that. Other officials, if you are not on a crew and would like to be on one, there's a QR code at a future slide. Just take a picture of that, and that'll allow you to sign up. We'll get your information, and then we'll get you on a crew when we have those openings. For all officials, if you're unable to work a certain date, please have your dates blocked in Arbiter. We sent out an email earlier that we want to go and publish the first 3 weeks, week 0, week 1, or scrimmage, week 0 and week 1. If you're unable to work those and future dates, please go in and block those dates in Arbiter. That's very helpful to us. When games are distributed, please make sure you accept your games promptly. There's maybe times where you got to look and see if you're available. Please don't hang on to those and wait days and days and days, because that only, if we have to get a replacement, that's important for us to make sure we have plenty of time to do that. Things come up. We completely understand that. When they do come up and you need to get off a game, please inform your referee. Referees, from that point, you contact the supervisor who you got the game from and inform them. We're going to encourage referees to find their replacement with approval from their conference commissioner. And then once you have that replacement and it's approved, we're going to get them in the system. If you need help finding guys, we will also have guys waiting and being able to help and assist with that. So just to let you know, all games are important. Our student athletes work extremely hard. All games are important. Doesn't matter classification, record. We mentioned earlier in an email that was distributed. This year, all games do count towards teams making the postseason. Wild card teams are now picked by the football committee, which in turn, that means all of their exhibitions starting with week 1 do count and are eligible for postseason to qualify. So again, every game is just as important, from 2 teams that are 9-0 or 8-0 playing for the conference title, or middle of the road. Again, all those games are important, especially to every kid in every classification. Be mindful that at times you may have to travel. We are very cognizant of what we do when we are assigning. Again, we don't want you to see teams multiple times throughout the season. So, but in turn, that's going to cause some travel sometimes. There may be times we are traveling a couple times a week, more and more. And unfortunately, that's not ideal. But again, we are trying to do that where we will keep you as close to home when we can, but please do expect there'll be times where you do have to travel. Officials, when you go to facilities, when you go to schools, please remember you are guests in their facilities. Some schools and some administration will treat you like gold. They will get you whatever you want. Other schools you go to, you're a necessary evil to them. Unfortunately, that's just reality. Again, please treat that facility like you are guests there. Again, we want to make sure everyone is polite, courteous, professional at all times. Again, there'll be schools and places you go that'll treat you wonderfully, and there will be others that, again, you're a necessary evil to them. That is what it is. We just have to deal with it. But again, we're asking you, always be polite, always be courteous, and always be professional. Dress attire when you're going to games. Business casual is fine. A polo, dress pants, a pullover, that is fine. There is no need for a jacket and tie. If your crew wants to do that, you're more than welcome. But again, that's not required. For the most part, there are 5 or 6 people that see you officials when you arrive, and you are some of the last people to leave. There is no need to get in, to be in a suit and tie. Again, if you'd like to, that's fine, but there is no need or a requirement to. If you need an additional locker room, if you have multiple genders on your crew, referees, when you communicate with the athletic administration of the game you're going to, please let them know in advance. There's nothing worse, speaking from experience, that with limited facilities of places, sometimes when you go and say, hey, I need an additional locker room, one may not be available, or then they're scrambling to do so. So if you have multiple genders on your crew, just please make sure you communicate that in advance. We'll hit on this before. Student athletes work extremely hard. We as officials need to work just as hard as they do. Like I said, all games are important. Doesn't matter your classification. It doesn't matter the records. Those student athletes all bust their tail all week, and we need to work just as hard for them. After the games, referees, if there's any ejections, any issues with coaches or players, any misapplications of a rule, other items that we need to be aware of, contact your assigning supervisor who assigned you that game. That's important that we're aware of. Ejections, just remember you have a 24-hour window to complete that ejection report. And before you complete that ejection report, contact your supervisor and let him know the scenario that took place. It's important to be very truthful. It's important to be descriptive in your ejection report. But in turn, that's also, like when I say importance, when ejection reports go through, and you as an official sometimes, I mean, you could be the determining factor if that student athlete, if that coach sits one game or two games. The PIAA has that opportunity to overrule or add that to that suspension. So again, make sure you are as truthful and thorough in your reports as possible. But again, contact that assigning supervisor prior to completing that ejection report. Take care of business. That's one thing that we will stress and harp on. Again, there are many times where we'll get reports of, this coach was really hard on us. Just, what did you do about it? You have that opportunity to take care of business. You're all strong officials. You're all worthy of varsity games. Make sure we take care of business. Another thing that we'll always say is you can't misquote silence. Like I said earlier, you're a guest in facilities. Don't come in to facilities and start complaining to others. Everyone has rabbit ears and everyone hears things, and the last thing we need is, someone say, hey, I can't believe they didn't give us anything to eat at halftime, or we can't even get a water. That stuff gets back to certain people, and it gives a negative light on the officials. Can't misquote silence. Again, keep that to yourself. Let your assigning supervisors know if there are issues, and then they'll take care of it from there. Work hard and stay safe. That's the main important thing for yourself. Stay safe throughout the game. We're always working hard to be the best that we can be. If you are not assigned a crew, this is the QR code. We'll give you about 10 seconds to take a picture of that QR code, and then you'll be able to fill out the Google form that's in there, and we'll get you on a crew if you so wish to desire. What to expect on August 1st. We communicated this out earlier. We are going to release this first scrimmage, which is on Saturday, August 17th. Then we will also distribute week 0, which is the following week, or second scrimmage, which some schools do. The majority of it is a game, but there are some schools that do a second scrimmage, and week 1. And then after that, after we get moving, then additional weeks are to follow. Typically, what Bill and I will do is we'll release 3 to 4 games at a time. This will allow us to make sure we're not, you're seeing multiple assignments, multiple schools at that, within a certain week period. That's just a good check for ourselves. And it gives us the opportunity to make sure we have the right crews on certain games as well. Again, so we'll distribute 3 to 4 weeks at a time. With that, I can assure you, all of you will be working throughout the season. It's not like you're going to be sitting. Don't worry that you're not going to be working certain weeks. We have a need for officials, as we always do in every sport. So don't worry about that. We're just going to release weeks 3 to 4 weeks at a time. Communications with schools. We're going to distribute a WPIAL athletic office contact lists. What that will have there is the office phone number, the email address of the athletic director, if they have assistant athletic directors, and secretaries. That way you have all of that information at your disposal. That way you don't have to look on websites, etc. Athletic directors change frequently. We'll send that list out the beginning on the Sunday before the first scrimmage. That way you can contact them that way it'll give the athletic or the WPIAL Athletic Directors Association an opportunity to update that list. But we will distribute that to all of you so you have that. Referees, we are asking you to send a confirmation email on Sundays for that week's game. Make sure you include the athletic director and his or her secretary. And then when you're sending that email, we want you to carbon copy your conference assigner or assigners. For all Big 56 games, that's myself. For games that from 4A and 1A, that Bill Schottenheimer or myself assign, please copy both of us on that. Lenny for the games Lenny assigns, and Mike Jarasinski for the games that he assigns. Once you send out that confirmation email on Sunday, if you don't get a reply back by Tuesday, contact your conference commissioner to, and then that way that they're able to reach out to them, to those schools, and make sure that they have, that crew is coming. This is a good fail-safe checkpoint for us to make sure that all games are covered. It's same with the athletic directors that, if they're looking, they didn't check their arbiter, it allows them to ensure that there is a crew coming as well. So that is important for that to take place. So make sure we have that communication sent out on Sunday evenings. A positive working relationship. The WPIAL, PIAA, Pittsburgh Public Schools, they are a huge asset to us. They do appreciate everything that officials do, that schools do. They realize and they know that officials are needed for us to play our games, for student athletes to play our games. They are extremely supportive. I know at times you'll hear some grumblings that that they may not be supportive to us, or they don't care about us, or everybody wishes they have more wages, that increase. I get that, but again, they are an organization that is a huge supporter of officials. I mean, take my word for it, please. They run some of the best tournaments in the country. We play them at all professional or college venues. This does not happen. Our football alone is one of the top tournaments in the country. We've had a lot of great and successful officials that have reached college level, professional level, and that's due to, again, the quality of football that we are working and the championships that are running. So again, they are a great asset to us. They are very supportive, and we are very fortunate and appreciative to have them. Again, I can't thank Vince Fortino, Scott Seltzer, Nick Murray enough, again, for the support that they give all of the officials and the support that they give schools. Again, it's easy to be critical on times where everyone thinks that other things or different things could be happening. But again, we're very fortunate to have all that and these support systems, the WPIAL, Pittsburgh Public, PIAA. We're all very fortunate to have them. Comments for commissioner comments. Again, a little reminder for me to say to all officials, make sure you get your rules interpretation meeting in. You can go to the PIAA website and find all the rules interpretation meetings for the entire state, especially districts 7 and 8, which we currently cover. So please make sure you see that. One thing I do want to address, and not a blunt person, but sometimes I am. Sometimes through my whole time, this short time of being named conference commissioner for the Big 56 and some other conferences and working with Bill Schottenheimer, there were a few grumblings that I had heard of how is he going to be an athletic director at a school and assign games fairly, and are officials going to officiate a Norwin game a little differently because I'm an athletic director. Again, the commissioners and assigners are picked by athletic directors, not officials. If there were any reservations that those athletic directors had, I wouldn't be in the position I am now, or other assigners would be. They're picked by athletic directors, not officials. So let me assure all of you that that is nothing that officials have to worry about. Again, I am also a licensed football official and baseball umpire. Again, I do some assigning on the baseball end as well. This has never been an issue. It's not going to be an issue for any official to worry about. Again, we have a lot of great support systems in place. And again, this is an issue that really, it's a dead issue. If you have any questions or concerns about that, please contact me directly, and then we'll handle that from there. But again, that's a non-issue at all. I just want to put that everyone at ease when you come to do a Norwin game or on an away game. You're not being scrutinized or not be anything differently. Again, so there is no issue there whatsoever. But I wanted to address that and get that out into the open. Bill, I'm going to see if you have anything to say. Then we'll see if Lenny, if he's on here as well. See if Bill's here.
No, I'm just trying to field a lot of text messages. So, guys, pass it on to your crewmates. That I will send this out via a link on YouTube. So we'll put it up on YouTube, and then I'll send a link out to everyone. No, I mimic the words that Mike said. We all have to work together. We kind of have to find a harmonious togetherness with WPIAL, the Pittsburgh City Schools, and the state. So again, we're going to work hard as we've always have. Those who know me, we run off-season study sessions. We're going to continue those. I'm going to try to get out to some of your meetings as the district rules interpreter, and then I'll change my hat to a signer, and you can ask me some questions as I get out to your meetings. So I look forward to a great season, and just keep up the good work, and just keep the communication open. And I'll pass it on to Lenny.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, just a couple things. Mike, great presentation, very thorough. I think you covered just about everything. A couple takeaways for me. The biggest thing that Mike touched on is communication. You got to communicate to your athletic directors. The big thing with that is you find out if it's senior night, if it's homecoming, if there's construction that you might have to leave a little early, if the time has changed, any of a number of things. So you need to communicate, talk to your commissioner on that. And as Mike stated, if you don't get a reply back by Tuesday, you let us know, and then we will contact that AD. The other thing that Mike touched on was next week, we'll be sending out the scrimmage week 0 and the first week. It's imperative that you accept that as early as possible. So if 4 or 5 guys on a crew have accepted and 1 or 2 are sitting there, contact them. That's your crewmate, especially a referee. You're in charge. Contact them. Accept a decline. Then we can go back and tweak it if we need to find replacements or what have you. The quicker you guys do that, and we get all those games out and accepted, then we could send out 2 or 3 more weeks after that. But it's imperative that you accept them as quickly as possible. And the one thing Mike didn't touch on, unless I missed it, is clearances. The vast majority of officials' clearances are coming up, and some of yours may come up before the season's over. So you need to check that. Check your crewmates as well. We've already caught several guys. Nick sent us out a spreadsheet, and several guys had clearance issues that they needed to take care of. It's imperative. If you don't have those into the state, you're not going to fish you. So make sure that your clearances are up to date. They're not going to expire before the season's over. The last thing we want to do is use officials that don't have any proper clearances. That's all I have, Mike. Again, great job, very thorough. And I've gotten, as Bill said, I got a lot of text messages. I've told them that it's being recorded, and they'll be getting it. So again, thanks guys for your time, for getting on. We're right around the corner from the season starting. Get into the books, check your equipment. If you've lost weight, gained weight, your equipment's looking shabby, get some new stuff. And I'm sure I'll talk to most of you down the road. Thank you.
Thanks, Lenny. Our original plan was to meet with the referees after, given our little bit of technical difficulties and some referees not being able to be on. We'll schedule a separate referees meeting at a different time. That way, no one's missing it, and that way everyone's able to get on that and listen, and just go over a few other additional things more in detail on it. So we'll do that at a different time. I do appreciate everybody getting on. Again, if you have any questions for myself, Lenny, Bill, Mike, reach out to us. Again, and we'll answer those as best to our ability. Again, we're very fortunate to work in the league we do. We are very fortunate to have all of you on staff. Again, we've had a lot of great football officials come out of this area. And again, we have a great reputation. And again, that's through the hard work. That's, of all of you. That's through the hard work of the WPIL and the PIAA as well. So we appreciate that relationship. We know we'll have a great working relationship with them. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And then the referees meeting, we will send that out via Arbiter to all of our referees. But in closing, the most important thing right now is to make sure all of your information on that crew list is correct and updated. If you want to be on a crew, to fill out that crew sheet, and then we will get you placed on a crew. Like Lenny said, I did forget, clearances are important. Making sure you get to a rules interpretation meeting. And last but not least, making sure Arbiter is up to date with all of your block dates. So at this point, that's it. I hope we kept it short and sweet. Again, if you have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to reach out to all of us. Bill and Lenny, if you want to stay on, we'll talk, finalize everything, and go from there. Other than that, guys, thank you very much and have a great season and stay safe.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Nice job, guys, both you and Zolvians.
Good job, Mike.
Thanks,
Thank you.
fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.